It's January 2004, and residents at an apartment building at Queen's Park in Sydney's eastern suburbs are complaining about a very bad smell coming from a ground floor storeroom. By January the 10th, the foul smell has become too much for residents to bear. A maintenance man is summoned to investigate the problem. As he nears the open storeroom, he realizes something is terribly wrong. The stench coming from inside the room is overpowering. An old mattress has been placed across the unlocked doorway. He pushes it aside. The room is filled with piled up junk, discarded boxes and furniture. As he moves further into the room, covering his face as he does so, he is almost knocked backwards by an overpowering stench. At first, he believes an animal has crawled into the room and died. In a corner, he sees what looks like a large bag partially hidden beneath some furniture. It's heavy, but he manages to pull the bag free, dragging it backwards towards the light of the open door. He uses a knife to cut through the fabric. To his horror, a human hand falls out through the cut onto the concrete floor. He reels back in fright, and breathlessly, he staggers away to call police. It's the 13th of April 2001, and finally the big day has arrived. 16-year-old Lindsay Van Blanken is very excited. After months of planning, Lindsay's mother Cynthia is marrying her new fiancé David Pleasance, and Lindsay can't wait. It's a lavish affair attended by close family and friends. Lindsay and her best friend from school, Jocelyn Tajadi, are socializing with the wedding guests. A string quartet is softly playing as the newlyweds enjoy the festivities. 18-year-old Will Matheson is a member of the quartet, but he's having trouble concentrating on his cumbersome cello, distracted by the two teenagers, Lindsay and her friend Jocelyn. When the musicians take a break, Will makes a beeline for the girls. Lindsay is shy, and Jocelyn makes the introductions. Lindsay's big sister Louise is watching the exchange between the girls and Will Matheson from across the garden.
And Jocelyn had just given him their phone numbers and contact details, so they were running down giggling at the time. And as I said, that wasn't something that Lindsay would do, but Jocelyn actually coaxed her into that because she was still at that age, quite a shy girl.
Will actually he liked me, and then he started going around to Lindsay's house and bothering her, and I guess they started hanging out, but nobody really knew about it.
So what's your band's name?
Lindsay is quite taken by the young musician, and in the days and weeks that follow, she and Will strike up a growing friendship. Will lives with his parents at Coogee, not far from Lindsay's home at Queen's Park in Sydney's eastern suburbs.
Yeah, it's my very good friend who played a couple of years.
We sort of became aware that he was around and he'd ring her up occasionally.
Right, during too.
But it was probably about 6 months, I'd have it a guess. I mean, roughly. It was quite a while after the wedding that we sort of understood that...
It was a friendship. That's what she said.
Yeah, she said it was a friendship.
As time passes, Will and Lindsay's friendship develops, although at first Will is hesitant about entering into a serious relationship with Lindsay. Being around Will Matheson changes Lindsay dramatically. She begins to dress like him, wearing old clothes. Her hair is pushed over her face, and she wears a beanie, just like Will does. She disappears from home for long periods at night, spending time with Will wandering through local parks and hanging out with him at a nearby cemetery.
Oh, it'd be just nice to get them off my back for a bit.
do you want to do?
I know.
He took control of her life, I think, and a lot of it was through manipulation. I don't know what other methods he used, but, you know, he did. And she started to dress like him, started to speak like him. And, you know, recalling the girl I was describing earlier, this was just an enormous turnaround.
Why? What do you want to do?
I think you know.
She wasn't sneaky. She'd just say, I'm going. And I'd say, well, why do you want to go? She said, oh, it's so peaceful out there in the night time with the moon. And she started to speak the way he did, and it was quite scary. I really felt like I'd lost control of her. And,
We had.
Well, we had, yeah. That's not a good feeling.
Will is obsessed by horror rap music, featuring bizarre lyrics about strangling and mutilating people. His favourite comic character is a sinister homicidal maniac. He has a collection of pet rats and ferrets living in his bedroom. Lindsay is fascinated by this strange, almost bohemian lifestyle. However, Lindsay's mother Cynthia and stepfather David aren't quite sure what to make of Will Matheson. None of this bothers Lindsay. As far as she's concerned, her relationship with Will is fine. At the same time, she's concentrating on her talent for drawing. Lindsay also shares this passion with friends she makes on the internet. In fact, the internet opens a whole new world for Lindsay, and there are numerous websites on which she's able to express her love of drawing with others who are just like her. The web can be a strange, dark, and dangerous place for the uninitiated, but Lindsay seems to have found a home here and quickly immerses herself in its culture. Her internet friends know her as Demon Nurse. It's a name she's given herself, and she corresponds with others around the world, calling themselves Turnip Juice, Apple Sauce, and Noodle, just to name a few. It's fun, and this is just the place a shy teenage girl like Lindsay can share her love of animation. Lindsay spends hours working on the animated characters she's created, many of which she copies into her prized art diary.
She was very good. She actually was designing her own caricatures as well, which weren't actually cartoons. They were more like characters within games.
The diary also contains a record of her innermost thoughts and feelings. It's while sharing her other passion for video games on the internet in 2002 that Lindsay begins to form a friendship with a young American. He is Brandon Leonard, a 20-year-old hairdresser who lives half a world away in Seattle on the west coast of the United States. They talk to each other every day, exchanging emails and web posts, and soon become firm friends.
I met Lindsay through a computer video game. I just randomly went on one day and found a name of a player that sounded interesting and decided I'd try against that person, and we got along really well.
Lindsay is still in a relationship with Will, but she's quite taken by Brandon, and their friendship grows, albeit after a somewhat comical beginning.
Brandon thought Lindsay was a boy because Lindsay was very a tomboy, like you suck at this game or whatever. So he didn't even know she was a girl till they started using the webcam and he saw that Lindsay was not a boy.
She supported me through some of the hardest times of my life, and one day I just realized how much I really cared for her and how much better my life had become since she had entered it, and how I didn't want that to stop.